Hi, this is Murph. In this video, I'm gonna show you OpenNebula 4.2 on a VirtualBox. I came across this OpenNebula, uh, which is an open source data center virtualization application, um, and it's open source, similar to OpenStack or uh, Eucalyptus Cloud Stack um, applications. I just want to show you, kind of, my take on this OpenNebula platform. If you want to try OpenNebula, you can do so from their website, opennebula.org, which is shown here. And there's actually a different way you can try it. So if you go to the website, you can download a VirtualBox instance or KVM or Amazon or VMware ESX, and they are pretty good. So I downloaded a VirtualBox instance since it's pretty easy from this link here, and then I went through all this process. It's pretty simple. If you have a VirtualBox instance installed on your machine, um, fairly simple. So once I did that, I basically now have an OpenNebula instance running on my VirtualBox. Okay, if I can find it. So here is my VirtualBox instance. So I can log in. So they have pretty nice login screen, which you just saw. Once you log in so I logged in as an administrator account on the OpenNebula system, you'll be presented with a dashboard like this, which gives you an overview of the storage, number of users and networks, and kind of the usage. It's pretty nice actually. You can see what's going on your cloud environment. So when you click on the dash system here on the left, you have options like adding more users. So if you are managing a cloud environment for a specific group or department, you can just create your users, and there's a way to connect this user to LDAP and many other authentication mechanisms, which is great. And then once you create a user, you can basically kind of select the user and kind of set up how much they can use. So like how many VMs, how much memory, and what are the maximum number of CPU. There are different quota options. Looks like here, virtual machine, data store, image, um, network, which is really good. Nice way to control, the resource. The similar way you can also use groups, add new groups, and define quotas for a specific group. And you can actually, if a group is using a lot of resources, you can actually see here what are they using, how much is left. ACL is just a custom access control list that you can create. You can define what an ACL can access. For example, if they can use use or manage this cloud or administer, and so on. So those options are there. The one that I tend to use more to try it out is basically the virtual resources section here, where I can create virtual machine instances. So with the demo version, it looks like they're shipped with a tiny Linux TTY Linux edition, which is pretty low in resource, so you don't need a lot of resource to run that. So to launch a virtual machine instance, you just select the virtual machines tab here and just create. Then you give it a name. Give it a name here, and you can. The great thing is that you can define how many of this instance you want, which is really good. Like you can define how many. If you need, say, if you have an event that is running for 5 or 10 people, and you want each one of these users to have a virtual machine of this kind, you can just define 10, and then that will basically spin up 10. So I want to do 2 here. And I want to choose TTY Linux as the template. So I want to talk about template later on. So once you click on it, you should see them. So you can see this submitted to this task here. and it's gonna now launch these two instances. So it's you can refresh here if you want, but you can see the IP address and status of this virtual machine creation, and at some point you will have access to the console of the VMs, which is really good. Uh, it's through VNC, so I'm just gonna refresh here. I get already there's one VM that has VNC console here. So click on it, and it should show me the VM console. It is unencrypted, but you can SSL encrypt this as far as I know. So that's pretty nice actually. Being able to control your VMs here, and once you have an production environment, you have a management interface, you should be able to reach your VMs through SSH or similar sort through this IP address shown here. Templates is something that say if you wanna have a custom VM and with custom settings you want them to be available, you can set that VM up and then create a template. To create a template, just click on create, and you can just define how much memory you need. If it's a SQL server, for example, you probably want more CPU and disk memory as well, probably. So that will help. But you can define all that as a template. And then once you create a template, it should be usable when you create a virtual machine, like you saw. I already had a template created called web server, which you can see when you create a VM, you should be able to select that as a template. And then when you provision that VM will be provisioned with the similar settings to define the template. So you can also update the templates here. Looks like so you can change the disk settings and add more disks. Network, you can add multiple network cards under the template. What type of OS, and there are a lot of features actually. They have a pretty good documentation in the OpenNebula.org website, and you can just look it up. Okay, and scheduling. How do you want the VM to be scheduled? If you want to select a specific cluster, you can do that. Policy, and the different options actually pretty good actually. So I think both of my virtual machines are ready here. So you see the other VM got also spun up. So if I wanted, I could log in, and I think the password is root. You see I got an IP address which is shown here. Since this is a test drive and I don't have any connection to the external network, but I should be able to ping the other one, I guess. 72. Yeah, I can ping the other VMs. So they're all the same network, but I guess you can change these settings to have separate networks for different virtual machines. So next one is images. So you can create your own image. So you can click on create here, and that gives the ability to create your own image, and you can upload a new image, right? So you can upload a new image. You can put a path here, and so many options here. I'm not going to go details, but you can read the documentation. So you can do that as well. OpenNebula supports I believe KVM, Zen, VMware, and even Amazon EC2, I believe. So you have the ability to connect to any type of hypervisor as well as platform. Right. Okay. Files and kernels. You can click on create here. So you can upload a specific file or a specific kernel to this OpenNebula system. I don't know why you'd be using that, but I guess probably just a regular file kind of scenario probably. Okay, infrastructure. That's where you configure your hosts and clusters and data store and virtual networks. So say if you have multiple hosts, you should be able to create those hosts, add those hosts here. So you can select, as I mentioned, it supports KVM, Zen, VMware, EC2. These are the main ones. I can see KVM, Zen, and VMware. So you have the option to add those virtual hypervisors, I mean hypervisor, physical hypervisor actually, into this OpenFlow OpenNebula system. And you can define which cluster they go in, and then once you create at the host, they should be showing up here, and you can see their kind of usage, what resources are being used. Since I have only one sandbox environment, which is inside the VM actually, I can see the status here. So I can click on it and I can see a lot of things here, total memory and the details around whatever hypervisor it is and so many other, which is really good. You can click on grabs here. You can see the resource use. It's not an advanced grab, but at least it's not bad considering it's a free platform that you get. Data store is where you can define your data store. You can connect to file system and a VM or VFS, iSCSI, LVM, you name it. Okay. And the virtual networks, where you'll be creating the virtual networks, looks like. So if you have multiple networks set up, and then you can have different VMs using these networks when they spin up. The thing I liked about OpenNebula is the marketplace, where you can basically import already built images from the OpenNebula marketplace, and most of them are like free. So you can, for example, if you need a CentOS server 6.2 for a VMware hypervisor, you can just select that and import it. There are more information here, how much this size it is, and some information around the passwords. That is really good. Okay, the one that I'm going to talk next is the OneFlow. If you have multi-tiered application and you want to kind of define those multi-tiered applications like VMs, then you can define on this template section here. So you can create those applications, those multi-tiered VM. I think it's similar to what VMware has, like vApp kind of scenario. You can define those here, and then select different VMs for each of those. For example, this is a I can say this is a client. You could use TTY Linux, and then what kind of shutdown action do I want? If you want to shut down gracefully or hard, and then you can, in the role one here, you can just call it web server. You can choose the web server template, and so on. There are a lot of documentation on how to what these fields mean, but I'm just gonna show you that this is something that is really good. I haven't seen that in OpenStack yet, but I don't know that they have HIT, which should be doing helping you with this process. But this is really good that you get it out of the box and you don't have to do much configuration. You just there, so you can use it pretty. Once you install the OpenNebula instances on your environment, you should be able to reach configure all that. So that's pretty much about it. I mean, I'm really impressed with the OpenNebula features that comes out free. I don't have to pay for anything, and if I have KVM or Xen server, probably KVM, and then I should be able to build my own cloud for free. Thank you.